On November 23, 1992, he said that he had changed the starting plan. At the beginning, it was planned to take off from the Sand Museum Nima at Shimane, but he decided to change to the Lake Biwa in Shiga, even though the authorities by then didn't confirm the new changes of the trip. Because he wanted to go to the location 2 days ahead to prepare for the trip, he proposed to have a farewell dinner for the family. This idea made him extremely excited because he would be able to celebrate the adventure with his family. He was a very good cook and he loved to decorate the dinner table. We made a toast to wish him a good and successful trip, even if inside my chest I felt a deep concern for him and his safety. Unlike me, he was thrilled and euphoric like a little kid, entering for the first time into a fair. He did like clowns, so much that he had an entire collection of little clown figures. I even remember him saying, "I want to dress up as a clown on my departure and then change to warmer clothes when I am high enough." While he was talking with our daughters, he also asked them what they wanted him to bring as souvenir from the States. They laughed and said, "We don't want normal lipstick, Dad." "So tell me, what kind do you want?" he told them. They started right away writing down makeup labels and color references on a paper sheet, while they were checking out the best magazines from the time. He folded the paper carefully and said, "Done." He seemed happy about it. He saved the notes in his pocket. While they were talking, I could barely hold my tears. The news of the big balloon adventure traveled all over the country, and many letters were written with messages of hope and farewell. One of them came from a kindergarten teacher, inviting my husband to come to the school before the flight to share his dream with all the children. Despite being very busy, he made an effort to go to the school. There, he was very touched because the children wrote him a letter together to wish him a safe and successful trip. They also sang him songs, and he asked one of our daughters to record them so that he could hear them on the balloon. At the end of our farewell dinner, I slowly retreated from him. I couldn't ask him to stop nor change the path that he had already chosen. His dream was already on his way to be achieved. I then wondered if he was going to just do an experimental flight or if he was already leaving towards the big adventure. Either way, I believed in him and in any decision that he would make, no matter what path he would choose. The only thing that I wished for was a decision without regret. I wanted to help, but I just couldn't. At least not directly. I supported his dream, but the burden that I was carrying in my chest was getting bigger and bigger as we were approaching the departure day. Alongside the countdown, I decided to do the only thing that I could to help him facing his challenges and dreams. I played and recorded myself on the piano so that he would trust my prayers and love for the music every night. That's all I could do to protect him with music. After I recorded everything, I wrote this sentence: "Love means never having to say you're sorry," from the movie Love Story. In the morning of the 21 November, it was slowly raining. Almost like the sky was also preparing to say goodbye. "I want to be able to take you with me during my journey," he said. So I gave him some tapes that I had recorded with our daughters. I wished that our prayers would be answered. This time, I had to look up to avoid the tears from falling. "It's time. and before leaving, we strongly shook our hands. The tears were so many at that point that I couldn't even see his face clearly. I didn't know if I should go with him and say my goodbye there or stay at home. I wanted to say goodbye with a proper smile, a smile worthy of his dreams, but I was so lost and full of opposite emotions that, with my heart broken and full of pain, I decided to say goodbye from home. Our daughters, on the other hand, said a very confident goodbye because they truly believed in his dream and that he would come back. Because he knew us very well and wanted to see us safe, he arranged an hotel for us to stay until he came back. In this way, we could also be apart from all the newspaper and journalists. If I went with him and he decided to take off that same day, I couldn't probably contain myself, and in an act of despair, I would jump into the balloon and fly with him. With my eyes still full of tears, I stood from afar, watching the silhouette of his car leaving. I couldn't stop thinking about if I made the right decision or not. Not long after that, he called me from the train station. I noticed from his voice that he was concerned and sad. The guy from the television channel that was supposed to meet him and document all the story wasn't there. At night, he called again, saying that he was going to sleep in the open air to keep an eye on the balloons. He also shared with me the beauty of the stars that night and the joy that they gave him. The teacher students from the NAKISUNA investigation also slept with him that night. The daughters wrote memories. Full was the bag, strong was the trust.